In this project, we will be discussing evolution. The main point of the PowerPoint is evidences of evolution, explaining the different theories of evolution, and lastly, explaining the natural selection process in detail. Firstly, what's evolution? It's the process by which different kinds of living organisms are believed to have developed from earlier forms during the history of the Earth. Evidences of evolution. Fossils. It's any preserved remains, impression, or trace of any once living thing from a past geological age. Biography. The study of geographical distributions of organisms provides information about how and when species may have evolved. Explanation of different theories of evolution. Darwin's theory. He proposed that species can change over time, that new species come from pre-existing species, and that all species share a common ancestor. Lamarck's theory. This theory was based on the principle that all physical changes occurring in an individual during its lifetime are inherited by its offspring. Neo-Darwinism theory. Neo-Darwinism theory, it's the synthesis between Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection and the assumption that the variations which selection acts are produced solely or primarily by gene mutations. Explanation of the natural selection process in detail. Natural selection. What's natural selection? The process where organisms better adapted to their environment tend to survive and produce more offspring. Natural selection process. It's a simple mechanism that causes populations of living things to change over time. In fact, it's so simple that it can be broken down into 5 basic steps, abbreviated here as VISTA: variation, inheritance, selection, time, and adaptation. Variation and inheritance. Members of any given species are seldom exactly the same, either inside or outside. Organisms can vary in size, coloration, ability to fight off diseases, and countless other traits. Such variation is often the result of random mutations or copying errors that arise when cells divide as new organisms develop. When organisms reproduce, they pass on their DNA, the set of instructions encoded in living cells for building bodies, to their offspring, and since many traits are encoded in DNA, offspring often inherit the variation of their parents. Tall people, for example, tend to have tall children. Selection, survival, and reproduction. Environments cannot support unlimited populations because resources are limited. More organisms are born than can survive. Some individuals will be more successful at finding food, mating, or avoiding predators, and will have a better chance to thrive, reproduce, and pass on their DNA. Small variations can influence whether or not an individual lives and reproduces. Differences in color, for instance, aid some individuals in camouflaging themselves from predators. Sharper eyes and claws help an eagle catch its dinner, and brighter coloration improves a male peacock's chances of attracting a mate. Time and adaptation. In generation after generation, advantageous traits help some individuals survive and reproduce, and these traits are passed on to greater and greater numbers of offspring. After just a few generations or after thousands, depending on the circumstances, such as traits become common in the population. The result is a population that is better suited, better adapted to some aspects of the environment than it was before. Legs once used for walking are modified for use as wings or flippers. Scales used for protection change colors to serve as camouflage. And here we come to the end of our presentation.